What's good, gamers? Blowoff941 here, back with another Destiny 2 weapon review video. It's been a little bit, and I think I finally figured out how I want to do these, and it's not very professional, so hell yeah. But before we get too deep in the video, if y'all can click like and hit subscribe as well, that'd be really cool. I put out a video at least once a week on Fridays at noon Eastern Time, and I'd really appreciate y'all sticking around for the future. Thank you very much. Alright, so if you couldn't tell by the title, today we're going to be talking about the Yeartide Apex SMG, and that is a 900 RPM lightweight SMG in the energy slot that does solar damage. It comes from the Solstice event, so just play any activity denoted with a distorted Solstice engram for the best chance of getting one to drop. You'll get a bunch of them, and it also has a boosted tier, like whatever tier your loot is at. There's a chance that you get an even higher tier version of that. Shinies are guaranteed to be +1 tier. I hate explaining that. It feels like the most confusing way to say words. But just It's not that hard to get one of these to drop, and higher tiers have multiple perks, so keep that in mind. Now, there's one big problem with this kind of weapon right now, and it is that the shotgun frame, the spread shot hand cannons, exist, which is not really that surprising. Any close quarters primary weapon is going to struggle against a weapon that can 2-tap to the body and does not use any green. A lobotomite could have told you that, Bungie. Why does it not have to deal with green ammo economy? Like, why isn't it like a trace rifle or something? Maybe like 3 shots of brick spawning with 5? I don't know. Just whatever. This isn't about spread shots, this is about Yeartide Apex. Let's get back on track. I'm gonna be throwing it up against Multi-Mox CCX, Imminence, and the Callus Mini Tool. Callus Mini Tool is very old SMG, but it's much more of a PvE weapon as well, unless you're Jingleheimer, because he's insane. But it's the most recent direct comparison weapon that we got, and funnily enough, there hasn't been a lightweight solar SMG in a while. Like, there's been quite a few Stasis Arc and Kinetics, but no solar. It's very weird, actually. In any event, it doesn't really matter since at a baseline, Callus Mini Tool is the king of base stats, on par with Imminence, which is a raid weapon. In fairness, there's at most 2 points of range between Yeartide and its contenders, but 9 points of stability is enough to start feeling a little something when getting flinched. Against Mini Tool, Amethyst can try to compensate, but Imminence also takes the crown there. On paper, Yeartide is pretty weak at a baseline, but you have to remember that the new gear tiering system is in effect, and as such, the Master can give a blanket boost to other stats. But then again, Imminence and the Mini Tool are craftable and have a similar stat boost to weapon level 20. I'm gonna do some research real quick, and I'll be right back. So I did a bunch of shit to try to figure this out, and I completely forgot that enhanced barrel and mag perks work, so I just wasted the last half hour of my life. Cool Dude and I did a little bit of comparing between the drops that he's actually gotten and the drops that I have and the baseline that's in D2 Foundry, and I think that we've come to the conclusion that a tier 5 fully optimized weapon is better than a craftable weapon from before the tier system by like a handful of points across the board. Less than 5. So maybe like one stat might, if you're doing perfectly rolled 5 out of 5, might have a grand total of like 9 points better than the exact version on an older weapon, but realistically, if it's less than 5 points in a stat adjustment, I don't consider it to be real. 5 is the lowest I will go before you start feeling something, and even then, that's if you're like super sweaty doing frame by frame dissections of this stuff. Like, so just the tier 5 version of Yeartide Apex is better than a fully crafted Callus Mini Tool. I don't think that's that hard of a concept or that much of a surprise. So anyway, all the nonsense with this shit aside, Mini Tool is much more built for PvE, which becomes very apparent when you start to look at perk options between these two. I will now be using this incredibly subtle opportunity to begin discussing perk options for Yeartide Apex. Column 3, you got Transcendent Moment, Recycled Energy, Heal Clip, Feeding Frenzy, Lone Wolf, Attrition Orbs, and Demolitionist. Oddly, in column 3 there's 7 perks, and in 4 there's 6. Weird. Transcendent Moment's a newcomer, will give stability and handling on kills since this is a solar weapon, which are important stats. If you're killing while transcendent, it then gives all stats, but that's a very specific use case that does not happen often enough in PvP to be taken advantage of, in my opinion. So stability and handling are great, and stability is really cool, but I'd rather have a bunch of other options in this column. One of those is definitely not Recycled Energy because it is bad. Do not use it. Heal Clip is pretty good and helps if you're in the shit often, and this is a lightweight SMG, so you will be if I manage to get a shiny tier 4 to drop, I am looking for this to be one of my column 3 options to use in both PvE and PvP. Feeding Frenzy is just fine, not really all that interesting to me though, since I play Hunter, and Hunter has a myriad of options to boost reload speed, so why would I want to waste the perk slot? Lone Wolf is my PvP pick, very good for the hero moments where you're alone, and I don't think there's much else here in this column aside from Heal Clip. Patrician Orbs is not for PvP, and Demolitionist is okay, but I do not care for it. Like I said prior, Heal Clip and or Lone Wolf, nothing else really does it for me. In column 4, we got Burning Ambition, Binary Orbit, Incandescent, Harmony, Chaos Reshaped, and Target Lock. Burning Ambition is new and seems like it might be a way to shorten time to kill if you're shooting someone consistently, kind of like Target Lock is. But it looks like it takes 29 shots from an auto rifle to proc it, and we don't have the data for SMGs and D2 Foundry, so it's probably literally useless unless you're heavy on firebolt grenades and are looking to melt tag targets faster, which then that makes Demolitionist better. But my follow-up question is how practical that time to kill reduction actually is, and I'm going to guess that it isn't worth the investment. Binary Orbit has a 25% damage boost, so compared to Harmony it's directly better, unless you think 15 handling on a lightweight is worth a 5% damage loss. If you're running a really good stasis or strength kinetic weapon, this is quite sick for going on a tear though, so keep that in mind. Incandescent is best for PvE, and I've talked about how it's just the worst elemental effect on kill perk for PvP in I think 2 other videos at this point. So if you want more in-depth elaboration, feel free to hunt around. I think the Nature Reclaim video has that rant in it, but well, fuck if I know, man. I only work here. Chaos Reshaped is Frenzy Plus, meaning it is useless in PvP. Do not use it. Target Lock is once again correct. It's a neutral game damage perk, man. You don't get very many of these. Just stay on target and melt people down. Easy. Target Lock or Binary Orbit if you really want to use your entire kit all the time, but really just use Target Lock. You got 2 origin trade options, Text Balance Stock and Dreamwork. Dreamwork gives you a reload after doing some kind of assists or something or other. Dude, realistically, I don't see very much worth giving a shit about between these. But at the same time, it's not really hard to get either of them to activate without thinking about it. Maybe Dreamwork helps you get a kill or 2 with the extra shots added to the mag if it procs at the right time. I don't know, man. Pick one and forget you have it. That easy. Pairing is simple. Long range. If you hate yourself, you can pull out a sniper. If you want to get stepped on, you can even pull out New Land Beyond. Otherwise, you could just be like everybody else and run Outbreak Perfected or Wicked Implement. Solemn Remembrance is correct if you're cool with a little less range to play with compared to those previous 2. If you're trying to take advantage of Binary Orbit, Solemn Remembrance also does really work out. But if you don't give a shit about the new gear tag, Disparity's great, Robin is great, Percy's D, fucking Aisha's care, there's plenty to pick from. Just stay away from CQC. Now, is it worth your time to get one? Yeah, I'd say so, but not even just due to the gun itself. The Solstice event rewards are expediting the power grind quite a large amount, and it isn't replacing standard drops either. It's on top of the loot that you would already get, so it's quite useful for that. Not to mention the rest of the loot from Solstice isn't half bad. The armor set bonus is free healing if you're on solar, and gear is dropping a tier higher than the standard non-event gear. So if you're getting tier 3 armor, you can get a tier 4 set of armor without having to grind out the power or grinding rank to have tier 4 be a standard drop. But if we're talking specifically about the Yeartide Apex itself, yeah, it's still worth it. I've been thoroughly enjoying mine in PvP when not fighting too many spread shot hand cannons, and it gives me more of an excuse to bust out New Land Beyond because I'm a glutton for punishment, and like I said earlier, I want to get stepped on. It's also the only modern lightweight solar SMG in the game, so if you're looking for that very specific combination of traits to slot in perfectly and would like something that power creeps Callous Mini Tool in PvE and has more PvP oriented perks, plus a cannon does often drop with multiple enhanced perks in each column, this is absolutely the gun for you. Take it to let us if you can stand the new state the Trials is in. Fight against a bunch of spread shot hand cannons in the 6s. Fucking run through PvE encounters with Heal Clip Incandescent or Heal Clip Burning Ambition. Just, it is better than Callous Mini Tool in PvE, and it's more built for PvP if you're trying to lean into that for the other perks. And you don't have to keep going back to the crafting station to change the perks if you want to take it to something else. So that is not really that big of a benefit, I'm gonna be honest. But anyway, it's a good weapon. I think it's worth your time. Absolutely go hunting for one. Even if you don't want to do any of the things that I just said, it helps with the power grind. So absolutely worth your time. Give it a look. With that, very long ending. That is a mess, and I do not know what the fuck I'm gonna do with it. That's gonna do it for me today. Have you gotten yourself a good Yeartide Apex? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Is it dog shit? Is it amazing? I'd love to hear anything that you're thinking about in those comments down below. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Y'all have a wonderful day.